Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder and welcome back. Over this past week I've been doing a bunch of Pink Floyd releases that I was referring to as unofficial releases. Things like the Reverberation 2016 remix of Metal and the Obfuscation Live in Pompeii 2016 remix, and then Pink Floyd's United, which is the reunion concert for Live Aid that was done in 2005. And so these things, while the audio content on it was officially recorded or remixed and was intended for release but ultimately held back, the packaging on these things and the release itself are the unofficial aspect of it. The music did get out there and then people formed their own packaging and released these things. And so while these are really high quality and I do recommend them, and there are separate reviews on my channel if you want to know more about these, as I said, we are here to look at this one, the Us and Them live concert for Roger Waters, but this one here I would call a bootleg. In all of my research for this, I don't find this anywhere or know of it being an official live recording of any kind. I don't think that it came from the movie that is recently out. And I don't think that this will be a future release. If he does release a live album from the tour, I'm assuming it'll be from the documentary itself or a different recording, and I would expect it to be somewhat of a higher quality. This one here has a little bit of the audience sound in the background, but once the music kicks in on it, that is all you're hearing is the Roger Waters and his backing band. So it's a very high quality recording for what I would call a bootleg. It's very official in the way that it appears, much like these other ones that I had done. This one here having the Sony Legacy and Columbia logos and everything, the Legally Speak that's down there, and the UPC symbol and everything that's on it, making this really appear as though it's an official release. But as I said, there's nothing out there on Roger Waters' website, Sony or Columbia's website, or anything else out there that I can find. In fact, this is the only packaging and information that there is. So I do think it's a bootleg, and if you are interested in it, know that the quality is really good, but just know going into it that it's not an official release. For this, he was promoting, Is This the Life We Really Want? This came out in 2017, and 4 of the songs from this album are represented in the live show. The songs Deja Vu, The Last Refugee, Picture That, and Smell the Roses. And the reason I point out those 4 songs is that from the other Roger Waters live album, In the Flesh, one that covers his whole career, and I point that out because he does have 2 other live albums out there, but they're both The Wall, covering just Floyd material. This one with a bunch of guests, and this one just straight as The Wall. But In the Flesh has, covers his whole career. And so this album, which came out in 2000, is the closest thing for comparison to this one, the Us and Them. And In the Flesh covers both Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking and Amused to Death, as well as Floyd Classics. But this one here is all Floyd Classics with the exception of those 4 songs off of his latest studio album. So the other songs that are on here, though, kicks off with Speak to Me and Breathe off of Dark Side of the Moon, One of These Days from Metal, followed by Time and Breathe, both again from Dark Side of the Moon, along with Great Gig in the Sky. Then Welcome to the Machine off Wish You Were Here. Then he moves into the stuff from the new album, Deja Vu, The Last Refugee, and Picture That, picked up by Wish You Were Here. And then Happiest Days of Our Lives, Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2, and Another Brick in the Wall, Part 3 from The Wall. And then there's an intermission at that point, and he stops the show for 20 minutes. When it comes back, we're on to the second disc, and he does Dogs and Pigs, 3 different ones off of Animals, followed by Money and Us and Them from Dark Side of the Moon, and then Smell the Roses again off of the latest release, followed by Brain Damage and Eclipse off of Dark Side of the Moon, and then the closing number, Comfortably Numb, off of The Wall. There's also on here 3 bonus tracks, the song Vera, Bring the Boys Back Home, and Mother, all from The Wall. And what's interesting is that those 3 tracks, they do not repeat on this, so they were songs that were performed at other shows during the tour, but just not at this one here. Incidentally, not at the show that I saw either. So I'm not sure when these were added into the set and or removed from the set, but getting to hear those 3 additional tracks, Vera, Bring the Boys Back Home, and Mother, always a welcome addition to get a few extra tracks, and especially when they don't repeat. So here's the front cover on it. As I said, this is very high quality and really well done in terms of the packaging that's on it. And it's got a triple fold out thing, holds the 2 discs in it. You got Roger performing here, and you can see that these discs are really well done and very nice. They are the silver discs. So they are, you know, full real pressed ones. They're not burned. And then if I pop the 2 discs out in these, there's the full triptych that you get to see Roger live. You get the Hyde Park shot, and you get the pig that was flying around. And there you go. So very nice release, good quality. And as I said, if they do release this, I expect it to be from a different show. So if you're looking to pick something up and have it now, I don't think it's going to be duplicated at a later date. And just in closing, because I'm covering this one here that is what I'm calling a bootleg recording, Nick Mason also has one out there. He had been touring with his band, The Saucer Full of Secrets, doing songs from 67 to 72, stuff covering the Syd Barrett era and on up to just pre-Dark Side of the Moon. And this one here, there's some great bootlegs that are out there from the show, and I recommend it. So if you're up for hearing the 2 different periods of Floyd, pre-Dark Side of the Moon and Dark Side of the Moon going forward, you got 2 really great releases doing that. You got the Roger Waters and Nick Mason, 2 guys from Floyd, both out there promoting. All right, I hope you enjoyed this and got something out of it. If you did and you liked it, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll be talking to you all real soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.